Robin, can you share with us one of your toughest days here in LA, maybe an audition gone bad or whatever, and then how you turned it around?
Oh yes, I remember this very, very well. I had just come off of my first television series. It was the very first television series ever on cable. It was called Brothers. It was on Showtime. It ran for 5 years. And I had come off of that show, and now I had 1 year. So this day that you're asking about occurred. I had gone through 1 calendar year of having deals made for 12 new shows. Okay, so I went out on my auditions. It was me and a couple of other people. So I signed my contracts. Everything was ready, and I didn't get one of the shows, not one of them. So this isn't auditions that I didn't get. These are deals that were made for me that if I had walked out of the room with the job, I would have had another television series. And I went 1 calendar year, 12 of those events, and didn't get one. It was down to me and 2 other women, and most discouragingly, one of the pilots was down to me and nobody else. And I still didn't get it because the producer-writer decided that she wanted to play the role. Now, none of those shows ever went on to become series, but that didn't mitigate my feelings on this particular day. And I was crushed. I mean, it was the hardest. I couldn't believe that this is what had happened again in this year. And I literally went on my face on the rug, and I just wept and wept and wept. And then I said, God, I just want peace. I want to be happy. If you think that I'm supposed to move to Kansas, raise chickens, and have babies, I'll do it. I just want a sign. I have to know. I have to know something. I can't take this any longer. This amount of continual rejection after getting so close to so many things. And I stopped crying because I really liked the rug, and I was getting schmutz on it, so I had to quit. But so right after I said the thing, I need a sign. I have to have something that is unequivocal. The phone rang. It was my agent. I had an audition for a movie with the then very old and ailing, I believe, Robert Mitchum, but it was still Robert Mitchum, and it was an old movie star, and I'd watched him when I was a little girl, and I was really excited about the audition, and then I had been something about, I had this feeling, I often will open a book, with a metaphysical or spiritual or just and just see what I see.
Right.
And I opened up, I think it was the Bible, and it was something about returning home, a desert zephyr returning you home. And I got this, so I need a sign, the phone rings, I have this audition, then I do the thing, I get the reading about the zephyr, the feeling to go home. I got this overwhelming desire to return to Aspen, Colorado, which is where my parents owned their own legitimate theater when I was a child. And so I said, I'm going to do it. And I made reservations, and the name of the plane, the train that went there was the Zephyr. And I went on the audition. I didn't get it, but I had my sign.
Interesting.
It was, if this is all, I said, if this is just my vanity, let me know, because I don't want to do this any longer. And if it's not, I felt like this is what I was supposed to do. All the signs when I came here, I got work right away. I got my SAG card right away. I got an agent right away. And then I didn't work for a while, and then I got jobs here and got jobs there, and waited cocktails at the Improv and at the Comedy Store and all that in between gigs, and so I'd gotten all these signs. So I really believed that this, and I grew up on stage, and this is what I love. And so I thought, well, I've had all these other signs that things are right. That's what I thought I was supposed to be doing, but you let me know if I'm not. And so when that call came, I felt, well, that is definitely a sign, So, and then I think, and then I went away on the trip, and I came back home, and on my deck, outside my door, was a script for Murder, She Wrote, and an offer to come and do it. No audition.
Wow.
Just on the basis of the work of mine that they'd seen before, they offered me the job. And I thought, well, that's my exclamation point on the sign that I asked for. But that day, Karen, that day, that wrung me out.
And I think a lot of people will have those on the rug moments.
Yep.
And I think they think that it's just them, but I think isn't that just a part of
Oh
the
my God.
evolution of being in a town where it's so competitive,
Right.
And you just have to realize it will come, and then you'll get back up again.
Right, if you want to. But the other thing that is critically important to take away from this is, if you get the feeling that this isn't for you, that you would rather have a more stable sort of life, there is no failure in that. The failure is not trying. The regret comes from not trying. If you went, and believe me, if you come to Hollywood and you live here for a few years and you get a few jobs here and there, and then you decide it's not what you want to do, you are still going to have a lot more interesting stories to tell around the old water cooler at your job at Hewlett-Packard or wherever it is that you end up working, because you had an adventure out here in Hollyweird. You've all the characters and all the strange things that happened to you, and the experiences and the celebrities that you either brushed shoulders with or actually broke bread with or knew. You'll have a great story and a great chapter of your life. So that is. Going back to another question you asked about what aspects of the book have people responded to, having been given permission, as it were, to change your mind is incredibly empowering. It's incredibly empowering. You didn't fail if you chose to go because you didn't like how you felt here. You win. You came, you tried, you had some experiences, and you went home, and you said, no, not for me, I'd rather do this. Because you have to make a lot of compromises in this business. There are a lot of family events that you don't get to go to. Even if it's your child, if you have been in the business a long time and you don't get to go to all the Little League games. You don't get to go to all the family celebrations sometimes because a job comes up. The women in my family, who are some pretty stupendous women, many of whom have passed away in the last 5 or 6 years, they used to go on a trip every spring to Rome or to Greece or to Paris or to somewhere, and it was just the ladies. And they were a great bunch of broads, and that was a wonderful trip. And I'd buy a ticket every time, and every time I would have a pilot that I had to go, that they made my contract for, and that I was either get or not get. And I had to cancel my trips, living my real life with my family, and I didn't get them. I didn't get those pilots, but the hope of that big fish, going away in the springtime was, especially at that time, like 10, 15 years ago, the pilot season, fishing season. You catch your big fish, you might be able to live for years on the new show that you just booked. But I had to cancel 2 trips with some of the most interesting, wonderful people for the possibility of getting a job, neither of which I landed. Right. So you sacrifice for this business, and so make sure that for the time that you're sticking it out, that you don't sacrifice your daily life too. Go to the beach, have a picnic, celebrate.